So today's video, I'm working out with my dad. As you can see right there, the much heftier guy. If you couldn't tell who was who. So today, very simple. So we started off with doing 15 down push-ups, which is what you're gonna see us do here. And so a couple of days ago, he was asking me or talking to me about like doing a push-up challenge. And I was like, yeah, sure, you want to do it today? He was like, no, 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 no. It's going to have to be later, like a couple days from now or 3 days from now. So that time came and he was telling me like, hey, you want to do the workout? Let's do the push-ups. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And I was like, you want to do 23 down or, how many do you want to do? Because last time I kind of like worked out with him was on New Year's where we did like 23 down push-ups, which took us around 25 or so minutes or 22 minutes. This year, the 15 down, it took us about 8 minutes, 30 seconds. Very short. And the entire workout didn't take that long because, he had to end up going somewhere. He had to end up going to work afterwards. So just doing these concise push-ups or just the entire concise workout was pretty good in terms of just, keeping track of the time. It was still very challenging as well. And we didn't just do push-ups. You'll see later that we did a bunch of other stuff. It was basically like a full upper body. Even earlier this morning, at the time of this video being made, we did 70 squats. So in a past video, I was having my father do 50 push-ups and 50 squats, 50 Hindu squats a day. And just recently I had him change that time, and I had him, not time, but change the amount of reps to 70, just to make sure things get challenging over more time. And he's able to get through 70 pretty well. He's able to do 30, rest, 20, and then 20. And so it's really nice to kind of see my father improving like that. And he tells me he really notices a lot of improvements when it comes to his hips and his legs. And even when working, right, with the type of job that he has, he's less tired with his own job. He's actually able to be more productive, actually, because I suppose like exercising is giving him more energy in his day to day. So he'll get his 50 or he'll get his 70s done in the morning, and then he might come back later and then do some more push-ups. But with working out, it gives you a lot of energy. Like you would think that because you're working out, you're going to be spent and whatnot. But when you get used to it, it really does give you a really good energy boost in the morning, especially if you do it as one of your first things that you do in the day. And now you're going throughout the day with just all this amazing energy that you are able to get from yourself. It's not like something that you're getting from some type of sugar, from food or caffeine or whatever. You're getting this type of energy from yourself. So there's a lot of things that just are very self-sufficient into bringing us the things that we need. Overall, we really did enjoy ourselves with this workout. The last time I really did a full workout with my dad had to have been during the summer before I even started this channel. I can't remember exactly what we did. I think it was a squat workout, 30 down squats. It might have been when we went to Africa, and that's probably when we just did the 30 down and maybe some push-ups. But that was some time ago. That was some time ago, and it's kind of great just to have that type of bond. If you have a parent or a loved one, and you can get them into working out, and they like it as much as you do, then that's a great thing. That's a blessing. And you should take advantage of that, because that's just a great thing to have. Have a sibling or have a parent or have a relative in general that is just willing to make those improvements on themselves as much as you want to. And now you have somebody to kind of work with, somebody to kind of help you, hold yourself accountable, and you can hold them accountable. So now it's more like a team effort instead of something that you're going into alone. Now, of course, don't completely rely on this person to make sure that you have your life together. Of course, at the end of the day, it's only you that's left. But it's just nice to kind of have like, especially someone like family, encourage you in this type of way, and you encourage them, especially when it's your father. Like, if there's one way to father son bond, it's like through some type of like physical thing, because it really kind of shows the skills and the capabilities of each, of both of those generations. Just shows like how much my father has improved, or his strength levels compared to mine, and like where I'm at, and like how he's like reminiscing about like, oh man, I used to be able to do all of that and this, when I was like your age or even younger, and it kind of really inspires him to get back into the shape he was many years ago. He tells me all the time like that I inspire him, which is like crazy because like he inspires me. He's like the biggest person I know, when it comes to like muscularity, like the person like I know like personally, not like someone I saw in the gym and nodded my head to, or not someone that I follow on Instagram or on YouTube, or not somebody that I passed by when I was walking on my way to school. No, like this is like the person that I know. I live with them. They raised me. They're partly responsible for who I am today. So it's just great to kind of have that type of person, in your life to bond with, especially a father, especially if you're like a young man and you have a father. You're very blessed to be in that position, especially like a really good father. Not a lot of people, have that, especially like in the black community. And I feel like not even just the black community, actually. Like I feel like that is kind of increasing, where a lot of people are being raised in households where they either don't know their father, they're estranged to their father is like a good for nothing or something like that, or their father is a bad influence, and they don't have like that actual like masculine spirit or guidance, present in the home to properly guide them. Like people can grow up with idols, young men, young boys can grow up with idols and some type of masculine figure or role model to follow, but they might not have an actual father. Like, so they might look up to their football coach, they might look up to their favorite NBA player, they might look up to some type of rapper or musician that they like, they might look up to some type of, I don't know, leader of something, or whatever the case may be. And it's it's not as, I feel like it's not as effective as having your actual dad. Now I'm not saying like all young men that grow up without a father are like gonna be bad or whatever, but the chances that they are is pretty high. And a lot of people that I know that have their fathers in their life, both parents in their lives, and relatively healthy relationships with their parents, they turn out to be like pretty good, well functioning members of society. And I feel like that I had the privilege of having both of those, having a great mother and a great father. And it's just, that's one thing. Like I said, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to have these parents in your life, because there's so many people that are born and their parents don't want them. Maybe their mother died due to giving labor. Maybe their father abandoned the family. Maybe both parents could have passed away in an accident. Maybe both parents could have just held their arms up and said, "Nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not raising a child." And then now you're being raised into some type of system where you're getting taken care of by like some paid person who couldn't care less about their job. And then maybe you're being moved to a family that is like, it's nice to have a family, but they might be like weird, or they might be creepy, or they might just be abusive, because at the same time a child never really knows who they're going to be with. If they're like, let's say they're going to be in an adoption center, or they're like an orphan, or whatever the case may be. But again, it's just great to spend this type of time with my father. I just remember as well, like when I was younger, he would always want us to like play catch and like soccer and stuff. And I just remember a lot of the time I was just opposed to it, as a young boy. And I think it was possibly due to just like me not enjoying physical activity, at all when I was younger. Like I remember I would take whatever balls that we had, and I would like throw it over the fence, behind the bush where the bushes are. So it's like he's like, oh, where'd the balls go? Where'd they go? And then, well, now we can't play soccer. Like I remember I used to not like when he would have me come play soccer in my free time when I was a little kid. But it's like I had nothing better to do. And that was just his way of wanting to spend time with me, and I didn't enjoy that time for whatever reason when I was younger. And one thing he made sure to do every time was like to really push me to be competitive, and I lacked that competitive spirit when I was very young for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just wasn't into a lot of outdoor activities and stuff. My parents, they would put me in like soccer and baseball and whatnot, and I just didn't like it. And they were like, okay, well, this isn't working, so let's put him in something else where he might use his hands more. And that was robotics. I definitely did love robotics as a young kid. But now, just thinking about it now, it just was kind of so weird that, like, I was so opposed to wanting to do just a lot of things with my dad. I guess because he was pushing me out of my comfort zone. And of course, I didn't like that. I was trying to resist against that. But that's like one of the many responsibilities of parents, especially like fathers to their young boys. It's like a responsibility to push your son out of their comfort zone so that way they can actually grow and develop into a man. And and he was definitely doing his job of doing that. He was definitely trying to push me out of my comfort zone. And when I was out of my comfort zone, he would push me even further for me to reach newer heights and newer goals, and always tell me to keep pushing. And that's just a great thing to have in general. And when I was younger, it kind of seemed as if I was taking this privilege that I have for granted. And I feel like when I got older, I really realized that, like, hey, like, I'm like one of the only people amongst my friends who like have a dad. And not only do I have a dad, but I have a dad who's a functioning member of society. I have a dad who works hard for his family. I have a dad who pays attention to his children and whatnot, and provides for them. I have a dad who's like emotionally there. I have a dad who's very fixated on his spiritual path. He is Muslim, and he doesn't deviate from like a lot of the rules and regulations of being a Muslim. I have a dad who is very focused on family. Like, not only is he focused on our family here in America, but also back home in Gambia where he's from. I have a dad who's always trying to just make things better and stable for us. And I guess I was just kind of taking that for granted when I was younger, and I just didn't realize that. And it took age, and it took me to kind of look around in my surroundings to just be like, I'm taking what I was given as for granted. I'm not taking it as seriously as I should. And I knew that I had to do better into reaching out to my father, because I just remember every time he would want to talk and have conversations when we were younger. Again, I would just kind of feel like I was being standoffish. Like, I wasn't feeling. I know I wasn't being as genuine with my dad, and I guess because it's just like, then I was like a boy. I was like a boy. Now I feel like I'm a man, or at least a young man. And now I'm able to better relate to my father, and to like have these conversations of more substance. And it's like I feel like I'm actually getting to know my father, rather than just kind of like knowing that he's a person that exists, right? And like and it's so funny because like talking with him, having these conversations with him, and sharing my thoughts with him, it's just so crazy. Like dude, he's my dad. He's 100% my dad. Like, we are so similar in just the way we think and go about situations, and just like everything. It's crazy. Like, even my friends say stuff, and my girlfriend say stuff like, bro, you're literally your father's son. And it's just so funny. It's just incredibly funny. Another thing to mention, so my father's fitness, you can definitely see like he has some tricep definition there in his arms. So he's no slouch at all, but due to just age, well, I'm not gonna use age as an excuse, but just due to like years and just like prioritizing different things in his life, it has caused him to kind of get like this gut. But he definitely wants to try and work on it and whatnot. I'll even put up a picture of like how he looked just a couple months ago. But I see that he's definitely improving. He's definitely willing to improve, and even learn from me. His son. So my dad is also very open minded. So he just has like a lot of virtues that I definitely look up towards. And if you have a father in your life and you realize he has great qualities, please reach out to your dad. He's not just some person that exists to make your life better. He is your father. You can learn from him. He has a bunch of wisdom. And don't take your father or even your parents for granted.